I'm going to be single forever. It's a good thing I like myself. It's a good thing I enjoy my own company because I'm going to be single forever.
Y'all, there's really no point of even dating for marriage after like 50, 55. I don't know. I mean, there's some exceptions, but here's all the reasons to not even bother. And I say this as someone who got married at 42. I married a younger man, and he makes my life so much better. And by that, I mean, I am growing as a person. I look younger than I've ever looked. I'm more confident and successful than I ever have been. And he loves the crap out of me. And I'm actually healing a lot of trauma through this relationship with him. But I had never had a plan to get married, especially as I slid into my 40s. I was like, what's the point of this? I had no faith whatsoever that I would meet a man good enough for me who would not ruin my life, or at least, at the very least, make it harder. Because in my experience from dating and also watching my grandparents and my parents and all these women around me who got married and are like miserable, I was fully convinced that there's no point to marrying. It was only some happy couples in my life that I was like, whoa, what's happening here? What is that? That's the only reason why I even bothered dating and was open to the idea of a relationship with a cishet man, because they're so lost and they're a bunch of homosexuals. Like, even in, y'all, men do not age out of being a homosexual. They do not age out of being parasites. Please go watch that story. That story is wild and it's amazing. And it is such a story of the time, because this man who has nothing to offer was perfectly fine, had all the audacity to just like basically move into her place on some level, or at least act like it was hers, and control what's being watched on TV. Like, I swear, y'all, the older men get, the worse the TV is that they insist on watching. I know so many boomer women who, like, their husbands never leave. They sit in their big throne, the big king baby, watching like old-timey crap, Western movies. So many men, they literally are looking for a hospice wife. So a wife that will literally take care of them until they die, because they will not take care of themselves. They literally rather die than feed themselves properly, go to the doctor, go to the dentist, and even like do any preventative care. They would literally rather die because they're so lazy and hate themselves so much. They're so dead inside. Why not just die physically too? And all of this could actually be different if they would just face themselves and work on themselves and admit they need help and go to therapy. And you know what I mean? Like, if they could actually change, but they won't, because they will not give up power and domination being the main thing that they associate with loving women. And because of that, they're going to die alone. And that's their problem, not ours. And so what happens is that unless women in their 40s and 50s and older date younger men who are not looking for a mommy, because every time I make videos about like dating younger men, women are like, whatever, they're just looking for a mom. All men are looking for mommies. I don't care what age they are. Every single man, unless they're actively deconstructing patriarchy, is looking for a mom. So I personally would rather have a man who is deconstructing patriarchy and is not a dinosaur and can actually get it up than these old farts who like don't even want to do anything. They don't want to go anywhere. They literally just want to stay in their house and sit in their throne and watch stupid TV from like their childhood, or, you know, play video games, or literally just do nothing. These men, another reason why I dated younger is because I ran circles around every single man. Even the man 9 years younger than me that I dated, I called him grandpa, because he was just so tired. Why? What are you doing, bro? You don't do anything other than work, and I work. I have never met a man with as much energy as me, or most of the women that I know. And most of the women I know are doing too much and are exhausted. And a lot of them are raising children, raising their grandkids too, taking care of their, you know, in-laws, taking care of their friends, literally taking care of the whole community, and still somehow have energy at the end of the day. Where men are just like, I'm too tired, I want to stay in. Men are killjoys. And it is not even worth dating them after a certain point unless they give you life. Bring something to you that makes you like yourself more instead of hate yourself more. Which dating men, cishet men, the common denominator on every single woman I know is that the majority of them make you hate yourself more than patriarchy has already taught you to. So unless you are dating a man who builds you up, who believes in you, who is not threatened by you, who wants you to succeed, but also not ride on your coattails and make you be his mommy and pay all the bills and him be just the king baby who literally does nothing, but still gets to rule the house. Don't date! Look at the Golden Girls plan. The Golden Girls plan. That's what I did. I was full on ready to settle down eventually with my ladies in a house. I wasn't ready for it yet because I was only in my 40s and I loved having my own, space. But I knew eventually I would want to live with someone else. But I assumed I would never find a man that didn't try to make me his free servant, schmegs doll, therapist, cheerleader, audience member. Yay, that's so funny. You're so funny. And all the things that they turn us into because they don't see us as human beings. If they're not unpacking patriarchy, they never will. If they're not healing their trauma, they never will. They will literally be a parasite. It doesn't matter if they have a good job. It doesn't matter, what they've done. Most of them don't have any friends, don't have a life, might have some hobbies, but they're not actually close with those men that they do those hobbies to escape you and actually financially abuse you with, like these hobbies that are like tens of thousands of dollars with. They literally just go out to do their own thing and they do that with their boys, but they're not actually close to those men because when they need someone, they don't call those men, and those men wouldn't show up anyway. They're just drinking buddies, hunting buddies, golfing buddies, climbing buddies, gamer buddies, fill in the blank buddies, but they're not even friends because there's no intimacy there. So I know that a lot of women are frustrated because we've been sold this lie, and a lot of women are grieving, like, what the? I thought, I want a wedding, a ring. The most important thing that we can do, which is what I did until I didn't start dating until my late 30s, y'all, for anyone who doesn't know. And I was celibate for 12 of those years. The most important thing that women can do now in this age, in this era of like the lonely man crisis, which is all BS. Women have been alone in relationships with these men forever. Women feel way less alone when they're single than dating men like that who don't see them anyway. But the time is coming when it's going to be so normal for women to just not put up with this crap and to live together or just stay single and live alone or whatever it is that we're doing. But it's going to be weird to take one of these men into your life because your lady friends are going to be side-eyeing you like, why are you doing that? That man sucks. Instead of this stuff we've been doing like, oh, maybe you'll find love. Maybe you'll find that you want. No! Especially after a certain age, you're literally looking for a hospice wife. And they'll actually unalive you while you're taking care of them because a sick old man is really stressful to live with. So mourn this dream, mourn the fantasy, the delusion that we were all sold. Doesn't mean you have to give up on dating, but don't let these men move in with you. Don't give men who are clearly not unpacking patriarchy any of your time. Talk about feminism or, talk about things that are going to challenge them right away and see where they stand on it. See how they act when they get mad. See how they act when you go on a girls' trip. Do they blow up your phone or do they leave you alone? As a thoughtful person who wants you to be happy would. You know what I mean? Don't give any of these men any of your time, any of your energy, any of your money, any keys to your home. Nothing. They get nothing until they have over a period of time, a long period of time, consistency shown through their actions that they are that man. And even still, be on the watch. Don't let your guard down. I don't mean in a way of like, don't be vulnerable and open your heart. I had a cold, dead heart for a long time. So I'm not saying have a closed heart, but I am saying put this stuff under lock and key, baby. No one gets access to it until they have earned it because men's nature, cishet men who date women's nature under patriarchy is to be a vampire, to suck the life force out of you, among other things, like your money, like your joy. They are not giving anything. And they certainly are. They're not providing anything but stress, and they're not protecting you from anything at all because they are the number one threat to you. And if you spend that time getting to know yourself and loving yourself, you will know you don't deserve anything less than that. It may take time, but you'll eventually start to believe it, get used to it, and start to see all men as a threat to your peace unless they literally bring you more joy and more peace than you could make for yourself. Be careful out there. Cut them off!